Secrets hidden in plain sight. Powers that move the world in the shadows. Questions no one dares to answer. Step beyond the Matrix. Subscribe.
Do you know that the Bible actually warns us not to help everyone? It teaches, don't help the lazy, for if they refuse to work, they shouldn't eat. Don't help the ungrateful, because they never value your effort or sacrifice. Don't help the proud, since even God himself resists the arrogant. Don't help the wicked, or you'll only strengthen their rebellion. And don't help fools or manipulators, for they'll twist your kindness into harm. Sometimes, true love means stepping back and letting God's discipline shape their hearts.
Has anyone else noticed that celebrities are transforming?
Watch
You know
this.
why my video of celebrity hands went viral?
Why is that?
It's because I'm right. It's because majority of the population know that this is absolutely abnormal.
Not
You're
normal,
telling me
y'all.
this transformation is just from weight loss, guys. Come on.
Definitely
I don't
not.
think so. You
Something
people
else
act
is
like I
going
don't have
on.
aunts and uncles and grandparents and great-grandparents and sisters and moms and me. We all age. My hands have never changed. This isn't...
It looks like a chicken
What
foot.
the heck? And a lot of you also mentioned age. I mean, let's be honest. How much could Hailey Bieber have possibly aged between this picture and
She's not that old.
and this picture? Let's be honest. And I'm not talking about fingernails. I'm talking about the joints of the fingers.
Look at the fingers.
Ow. She has extremely long fingers. All of a
She didn't
sudden,
used
though.
to.
Same with Cynthia Erivo. You're telling
Normal
me prior
hands
to
in this
Wicked,
picture.
her and her hands look like this, completely normal.
Yeah,
and then
watch
all
this.
of a sudden, we're seeing this.
Those are not
I'm
human
telling you
hands.
guys, this is very inhuman. This is other.
What's the most dangerous country in the world right now? Also a good question. There are several. And I've been to all of them. I never got to go to the nice places. I went to 72 countries with the CIA, and almost all of them were just awful. Some of the most dangerous places in the world are Yemen, Somalia, Gaza, Afghanistan, parts of Pakistan. You have to sleep with one eye open. You just never know how bad things are going to get. And I'll give you an example. I went to Yemen 5 times, and every time I went, it was worse than the previous time. The 5th and final time that I went, we were only allowed to stay at one hotel. The hotel had a 30-foot high wall around it to protect it from bomb blasts. You couldn't stay in any of the other hotels by then. Well, the day after I arrived, a group of South Korean diplomats arrived. And on the drive from the airport to the hotel, they were ambushed and they were all killed, 6 of them.
Damn.
A couple of days later, a group of South Korean intelligence officers arrived to investigate the murder of the 6 diplomats.
And they were killed.
And they were ambushed.
Yep.
And they were murdered. And so the South Koreans just closed their embassy and went home. That's a pretty dangerous country.
The way that a Gen Z person might get recruited is, let's just use you as an example. Somebody comes up and says, hey man, I love your podcast. And they say, I have a serious question for you though. Would you consider yourself a patriot? Now I've got you locked into identity. And then I say, well, I have an offer for you, but before I show you anything, I just want you to say yes or no. Would you be willing to entertain the offer? And it might be uncomfortable. Stage 1 is, I show you all of your browsing history, captures from your webcams on all of your phones and computers of you doing the most compromising shit you could ever possibly imagine. And I'd say, I like your podcast. I think you're doing a great job and I want to protect you. I want to keep all this from the public eye. We also want to give you $20,000 a month. So now you feel like you chose all of this. I told you it was going to be stressful and you agreed to it. If you say yes, the reason that you're doing this on your podcast is for your country, because you're not going to call yourself compromised. We have this thing called cognitive dissonance that keeps our brain from thinking I'm a bad person. Even though you're being asked to silence people, not have certain people on the show, leave something out of your podcast, you're telling yourself, and whoever's your handler is telling you this is for the greater good. And you kept Americans safe by doing that. And you'll tell yourself that. And you'll feel good about it.
What happens if I say no?
What's the worst thing you ever did in the CIA?
We created a germ in a lab and blew it into the atmosphere in San Francisco just to see if anybody would get sick. And lots of people got sick. 11 of them were sick enough to need hospitalization. And it turned out that they all suffered from the same rare respiratory infection. And the doctors are like, where the heck did this come from? Well, the CIA had it in a big tube and they were it into the fog. And they did it in San Francisco because the fog is heavy and they knew that the fog would keep the germ close to the ground where people are breathing it in. And then the CIA said, we should hire a whole bunch of prostitutes and rent a cat house and get these prostitutes to bring Johns back to the cat house, and then we dose them with LSD and see if we can control their minds. These are American citizens. You can't just dose somebody with LSD. Ooh, let's see. Is he going to go crazy? Is he going to kill himself? Is he going to confess his deepest, darkest secrets? Like, what the f is wrong with people?
No! Please don't tell me this is Wi-Fi. From ancient times, guys, from ancient times. Lady, I don't know what's so funny, but you better not connect to that Wi-Fi. Do not join that network, I'm telling you right now. Wait a minute, not the Nokia phone? So you mean to tell me that mummies and giants were using the Nokia phone before it came out? Who are they calling? Nah. None of this stuff is new. They've been doing this since ancient times. And I already showed you who that statue is. They just redoing everything. Nah. A giant sword and giant bones. There were giants here, I don't care what you say. And these giants couldn't be on the earth while we were here. They would have got rid of us. There's still giants out there, guys. Remember that video I showed you? They make giant clothes. TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. Giants no longer exist. All of these pictures are full of crap.
Okay, think about this. Everything that you see, everything that you touch, every color, every light, it's not reality. It's just a tiny, tiny slice of it, and it's filtered through your eyes. Humans can only see less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum. That means what you call the world is mostly invisible. Like the heat radiating from your body, like the signals moving through the air, the ultraviolet storms of distant stars, they're all happening all around you all the time. But your brain, it doesn't register them. And the world isn't just bigger than you thought. It's mostly hidden. And maybe that's the point, because what we see isn't reality, it's perception. Like we navigate a shadow of the truth, a fraction of existence, and we call it normal. It's normal to us. But imagine how different life would feel if we could see all of it, right? Like maybe the universe isn't mysterious because it's complex. It's mysterious because it's mostly invisible. So the next time you look around, remember that your eyes are only seeing a tiny fraction of the world around you. And the rest, well, you don't see it.
One of the things that I learned from whistleblowers from the cabal itself is that they have to work within something they call the rules. And this is very, very important. The rules are a body of spiritual principles that they must follow in order to be allowed to exist. Now, what do I mean by allowed to exist? I mean that they are aware that there are benevolent forces that will prevent them from achieving their goals unless we give them permission to enslave us. Ultimately, the universe is intelligent, alive, and conscious, and it is benevolent. It is a benevolent consciousness. That consciousness does not allow the negative to succeed unless it is invited. So the cabal has made a science, a very elaborate science, out of studying these arcane, occult, magical principles that allow them to get away with what they do. So they have to put out everything that tells you who they are in music videos, in these Super Bowl halftime shows, the Grammy Awards ceremonies. They're out there showing you the truth. This is what people are going to have so much trouble with once disclosure happens, is that these people actually practice black magic, and they are very, very good at it.
Okay, stop scrolling. I'm about to prove to you we live on this and not on this. And also, at the same time, prove to you that God's word is true and accurate. First of all, they got us believing that these rockets are leaving Earth. when in fact they can't because of this, the firmament. And here's the proof. Let me introduce y'all to Wernher von Braun, which is known as the father of NASA. He also helped develop the Saturn V rocket, which allegedly took Apollo 11 to the moon. On his grave, he quoted a Bible verse, Psalms 19:1. Psalms 19, verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. And the Hebrew translation for firmament is extended surface, solid expanse. The vault of heaven or firmament regarded by Hebrews as solid and supporting the waters above it. We take a look at the book of Job, chapter 37, verse 18. Hast thou with them spread out the sky, which is strong, and as a molten-looking glass. So the firmament that is supporting the waters above is literally made out of glass. Anyways, have you guys noticed when they launch these rockets, they never go straight up, they always curve? I mean, it almost looks like they're taking the shape of the firmament. I mean, we could see it in Disney's logo. Wernher von Braun and Walt Disney were best friends. It also has a little strange pattern going through it. Isaiah 40:22, is it he that sitteth upon the circle, not ball, of the earth, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, that stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. Again, stretcheth out the heavens as a curtain, and spreadeth them out as a tent to dwell in. Here's a test. Would you say this looks like a circle and a tent to dwell in? Or this looks like a circle and a tent to dwell in? Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. God's word is true. He wants a relationship with you and not a religion. Anyways, like, follow, and share for more. And like always, God bless.
And what if I told you I think the government is using numerology? Now hold on before you call me crazy. Let me explain why. Okay, I'm learning a little bit about numerology, and I'm learning that we go through a 9-year cycle, right? And each year within that 9-year cycle, each number for each year, which is like a universal year number, that has a meaning and has a theme to it. So for instance, let's pay attention to year 1 and year 9. So a universal year 1 is about new beginnings. It's a blank page. You don't know what's about to happen. Just new things are happening, right? And a universal year 9 is about endings because it's the ending of that 9-year cycle. All right, makes sense. Okay, so let's look back at 2008. Now, 2008 was a universal year 1. That was the theme, new beginnings, new things happening, right? And what was new that happened around that time? The first black president. That was a new thing. So stay with me. So then throughout his entire term, he ran for a full 9-year cycle because he ran twice and won both times. And throughout his whole term, it was just progressive. Everything was progressive. Liberalism was like the main thing to be. It was the legalizing of gay marriage, the Black Lives Matter movement. It was just a lot of progressive things happening around that time. It was still some things that were like, but if you look back at each universal year, and the numbers and what was happening in those years, they all align, especially when it comes to the government. Now, 2016 was a 9-year. Like I told you, a 9 years about endings. What happened during 2016? That orange man, that man that looked like the color of my hair, got into office. And that was the ending of the progressive era. That was the ending of everything going pushing forward and went pushback. So recently, we just ended another 9-year cycle. And now we are in a 1 year right now currently. And I find it pretty ironic that the beginning of this year, the first thing this orange man does is to get the dictator from Venezuela and now has control over Venezuela and that oil over there. That's pretty new. But I am questioning though, because he got inaugurated in a 9-year, in an ending year. An ending of a cycle that he was a part of, that he was the start of. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I do feel like they are definitely using numerology because all of this is aligning so like it aligns perfectly. And you can't tell me that they don't, they're already using astrology girls and some woo-woo girls, but I know for sure they got to be using numerology as well because why does this align perfectly? We'll see. I don't know.
This is Black Mirror in real life.
Somebody just bumped into me, but we in Montreal, and they got this new thing just in the middle of the, you feel me? Like, I don't know how to explain it. What is this thing? This in Montreal, downtown. Me and my dog wondering like, what is this? Look at this, man. It's the pyramid with the eye on it.
The pyramid was scanning people's faces and telling them information about themselves and their body.
Look at this, bro. I analyze one face at a time. It's creepy, dog. So, no, but you gotta see what it's saying to her. But peep, though.
They were scanning palms and fingerprints on the backside.
They want you to put your whole hand on it to get your fingerprints in their stuff.
If you've seen the film The Truman Show, then you'll remember a scene where Truman reaches the perimeter of his known world. And he bangs on what he thinks is the sky, and it's a wall, and he realizes that everything about his reality is completely untrue. Well, this is kind of what it's like when you're in the midst of a spiritual awakening. You see, the systems around us, they exist to distract us and to stop us from understanding our true divine energy and power.
And it's a really brave step to take, just like Truman did, to decide to break out of those comfortable systems and step into the unknown.
But once you do, you open yourself up to your true potential. We're here with you. If you resonate with this video, send us a comment. You got this, guys. We love you.
These are celebrities that have died twice. First up, Nelson Mandela. So there are millions of people who believe that Nelson Mandela died in the 1980s.
I'm one of those people.
The thing is, he did not die until 2013. But there are people who will argue you up and down the wall that Nelson Mandela died in the 1980s. The second one is Eddie Murphy.
What?
So there are millions and millions of people all over the world who specifically remember Eddie Murphy died in 2013 in a snowboarding accident. And the final one is Michael Jackson. So there's no specific date with this one. Hundreds of millions of people for this one believe that Michael Jackson died somewhere in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s, and they remember it playing out exactly how it did when he actually died. So for them, it feels like they relived Michael Jackson's death
Two
twice.
times. Oh my God.
It is the craziest thing ever.
I wonder what that is then.
Do you know that McDonald's sells over 6.5 million burgers a day? That's nearly 200 million a month. But where are all the cows? You don't see massive herds anywhere. Even with imports, it feels off. Are they cloning meat? Using labs? I'm not making claims, just asking, what exactly are we eating?
I make a prediction by the year 250. I have a bunch of predictions here.
Okay, let's hear it.
Neuroscience and our understanding of the human mind will become so advanced that mental illness will be cured, leaving psychologists and psychiatrists without jobs. In a shift that echoes the rapid conversion from horses to automobiles in the early 20th century, self-driving electric vehicles will fully replace all cars and trucks on the road. The human space program will fully transition to a space industry supported not by tax dollars, but by tourism and anything else people dream of doing in space. We develop a perfect antiviral serum and cure cancer. Medicines will tailor to your own DNA, leaving no adverse side effects. We will learn how to regrow lost limbs and failing organs, bringing us up to the level of other regenerating animals on Earth, like salamanders, starfish, and lobsters.
Did you ever wonder why you don't have an internal monologue? Well, there's a theory as to why. Now, I don't know what it's called, but let's dig deep and talk about it. Some people wake up with a voice in their head that never shuts up. Thoughts stacking, memories replaying, future conversations already being had. like a mind that's always watching itself. But some people say that their brains are just quiet. There's no narrator, no inner voice, just absolute silence until something on the outside world happens. Scientists actually confirmed that some people don't have an internal monologue. That discovery didn't just confuse people, it disturbed them because they realized that every mind is not built the same. And that's when the internet theory started spreading that consciousness might actually come in different layers. See, some people run in observer mode, always questioning, noticing patterns, and feeling like reality might be slightly off. Then you got the other people who run in default mode, living moment to moment, repeating social cues, trusting the system, and never feeling the need to really look behind the curtain. We're not gonna say they broken or fake, they just optimize for stability, sort of like an NPC player. And that would explain why some people get uncomfortable when you talk about time, death, reality, or meaning, or why some people avoid deep conversation like their brain literally just rejects it. But mostly, why people move through the world like something is just happening to them, while others feel like they're just watching it happen. But the darker theory about this is that the world might actually really need those people. Because you gotta think about it, if everybody started questioning everything, then nothing would be able to hold together. So while some minds are meant to wonder, other minds are built to maintain. And once you notice the difference, you'll start seeing it everywhere. And then that leads into consciousness and reality shifts and all this other type stuff. But let me know, is your mind loud or quiet?
I got another hot take. I can't prove it, but this is what I'm thinking. I think that the government knows that there's a bunch of people who are cosplaying as ICE people that are kidnapping people off of the streets and basically unaliving them. I think a lot of those people are probably Proud Boys or some other Klan type group. And if they ever did get caught, I think the government would retroactively try to be like, oh no, they were actually an ICE agent. Like, do we really trust that Kristi Noem has all of her ducks in a row? That she has all the hiring paperwork there? Because I think if we ever found out who was actually working for them, I think we'd be surprised to find out that it's actually less people than we think. And this is just a time for racist people to cosplay and try to kidnap people off the streets. I mean...
I'm Kristi Nicola. I was a subject in radiation as well as mind control and drug experiments performed by a man I knew as Dr. Green. And Donald Richard Ebner, my natural father, was involved with Dr. Green in the experiments. Dr. Green performed radiation experiments on me in 1970. All these experiments were performed on me in conjunction with mind control techniques and drugs in Tucson, Arizona. Dr. Green was using me mostly as a mind control subject. His objective was to gain control of my mind and train me to be a spy assassin. The first significant memory took place at Kansas City University in 1966. I was in what looked like a laboratory and there seemed to be other children. I was strapped down, naked, spread eagle, on a table, on my back. Dr. Green had electrodes on my body, including my head. He used what looked like an overhead projector and repeatedly said he was burning different images into my brain while a red light flashed aimed at my forehead. In between each sequence, he used electric shock on my body and told me to go deeper and deeper, while repeating each image would go deeper into my brain, and I would do whatever he told me to do. I felt drugged because he had given me a shot before he started the procedure. When it was over, he gave me another shot. The next thing I remember, I was with my grandparents again in Tucson, Arizona. I was 4 years old.
This is not prophecy, but prediction. If this was predicted 27 years ago, somebody knew something. Okay, here's the list. This is an abbreviated list. I could have made it much longer. You know I can. I didn't. Okay, you ready for the list? Fast mutating viral disease pandemics. Genetically developed vaccines. DNA database tracking. DNA chips. Get this one. 1997. Gene-based pharmaceuticals. Transmitting genetic instructions for a disease process. How about this one? You ready for it? Wait for it. Artificial intelligence to determine gene patterns. 27 years ago, who had heard about AI? Apparently they had. How about this one? Robots for doing genome sequencing. And then, this one blew me away. Using recombinant DNA for making spike proteins. 1997? It gets even worse. Smart homes. They have a whole chapter on smart homes / smart cities. This one will absolutely floor you. It did me. In 1997, and this is, you can do the word search and research yourself. They predicted, not 2025, but by 2020, that people would be working from home virtually. Come on. Nuclear devices causing widespread contamination. Nanotech devices, this stuff was never even heard of. Digital currency, and last but certainly not least, vaccination programs. I'm sorry, I gotta chuckle, because if I don't, I'll cry. Vaccination programs run by organizations like the World Health Organization for a global killer that has yet to emerge. First printing, February.
If I told you that in the book of Revelation, it says that in the end times, before Christ comes back, there will be robots that ask us to get the mark of the beast, or they kind of try to make us to, you'd say, no, that's not quite, there's no way, right? Like you would have heard about that. Listen to this. This is possibly one of the most shocking videos I've ever made. I think it's becoming clearer and clearer now than ever before that something big is coming, dude, like shortly. In Revelations 14, it says, they're talking about something called the image, or the image of the beast, or the statue of the beast. And it's basically described that this statue, this angel went to the future, or went and had a vision of what's coming, when God's coming back, when Christ is coming back. And in this vision, he saw that we had made statues that we can then give life to. Now, if you're an angel looking into the future, or having a vision of the future, then you would see a robot. You didn't have robots back then, so you wouldn't call it a robot. You'd call it a statue. It looks like a statue, but then it's walking around. So we gave it life. That life would be electricity. But here's the crazy part. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, so like the statue, the robot, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be unalived. In other words, like when these robots, like they demand that you listen to them, put it that way. So then get this. The next line after that is, and he causeth, which is the robot, or in this case, I'm pretty sure it's just AI. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell without the mark. But here's why you and I will not be getting that mark. It says right here, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receiveth the mark of his name. This is why people say they're not getting the mark of the beast, dude. It says right there, it's going to be a bad time. Think about it. Picture how cringy it would be if you got the mark of the beast, and then Christ came back, and he's like, I told you, dude. Come on. So look, command for worship. The statue demands that everyone worship it. That's the robot. Enforcement. Anyone refusing to worship the robot is to be, and I blocked out that word, unalived. The mark. Everyone must receive mark. Okay, but here's the thing. Here's the shocking thing. The statue, aka robot, represents an anti-God system of worship and economic control, often interpreted symbolically as advanced technology, like AI or robotics. Ironically, this is Google's AI overview that freaking put this together. Or a powerful global system demanding ultimate allegiance. Do you guys think we're there yet? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
Why do you think we exist? We believe that this is Matrix. This Matrix bullshit my wife believes. Wife saying the same shit this nigga said. And well done. It's the reason that everything fits together. Like, it would be enough if there was. Do you believe in other lives? You lived other lives? I know that whatever is in our body, whatever that weighs, I know that when it leaves here, it still weighs that in the universe. So it's somewhere.
It came to you from somebody.
Yes.
Wow, right? It came to you from somebody. When it leaves you, it's going to go someone else.
Yeah. It's the reason that when you're young, there's a lot of things that you learn that nobody taught you at all. You just...
This whole world is just one big school.
Right.
One big school. And when we die, we're not going to know as much as we died, but even as much as we lived. You know, we don't know anything. Only thing we know is what they told us in those books.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or whatever it is.
That's how you know that there's truth in the history, though, because we're now in a place now in history where we're able to know more about the universe than ever. Like, we've been to places now. You know what I mean? We've been to all these planets and we've had these experiences unlike anybody else in history. But the problem is that whatever they said about the planets 6,000 years ago,
bullshit.
No, it was all true. And we are just now finding out. So the question is, how the fuck did they know?
Oh, shit.
Why did they say Mars was the red planet before they got there and explained to us that that's what it was like and what the environment was? How did they know about the rings on that planet? And why were they correct about it? And if they're that correct, what were... I'm saying...
Like I said, who are we? Who's our ancestors? When it first started, how did my ancestors look? My millions ancestor. Wow, I can't even say a million ain't nothing. A million years ain't shit compared to time. Trillion, who's my trillion? Ooh, life is a bitch, huh?
Right.
There's no time. We made time, but it's really eternity.
That's what you were saying when you said the 365 days. So before somebody called it that, then how old were you? Like, how were you measuring your
before Julius Caesar said, hey, motherfucker, this is going to be 1 year because I can't take this shit. So it's no such thing as time. It's eternity, and we turned it into time.
I thought when I was real young, I thought if you was a great, great man, you generally died around 25 or 26. So I had planned my life according to that. And I got into this thing about 6 or 7 years old where I was like, yeah, every 7 years, that's almost like a new you. And so I've kept that model going my entire life. So, I've lived 7 whole existences that were separate from the one before it, taking what it takes from it, but yeah.
That's amazing right there, you know? You could just fuck my whole head up right there with all that shit, man.
You know, when you do die young, it's the way it is.
I'll just give you one example. If you go to McDonald's, anywhere in the world, you will find French fries, or chips as you call them, and you will find that they're always made from the same potato, the Russet Burbank potato. This is a potato from America that's unusually long and difficult to grow, but that's what they want, because when you're McDonald's, you like those red boxes with a little bouquet of very long chips. It looks really good, and so they insist that all their potatoes be Russet Burbanks, and they further insist that they have no blemishes at all. There's a very common defect of Russet Burbank potatoes called net necrosis, and you've seen potatoes with a little brown line sometimes, or spots that come through it. Well, McDonald's won't buy them if your potatoes have that, and the only way to eliminate that is to eliminate an aphid, and the only way to do that is with a pesticide called Monitor that is so toxic that the farmers who grow these potatoes in Idaho won't venture outside into their fields for 5 days after they spray. And then when they harvest their potatoes, they have to put them in these atmosphere-controlled sheds the size of a football stadium because they're not edible for 6 weeks. They have to off-gas all the chemicals in them. So you see, the desire for a certain kind of chip leads to a certain kind of agriculture.
I don't mean no disrespect. So y'all think Kobe dead? Yes or no?
Kobe?
Yeah, nobody seen him get on the plane. Did he disappear? Did he go to another island?
I think so. I think he got wiped out because what a lot of people don't know, I'll say allegedly, but he was in a legal battle with a pharmaceutical company.
I heard about that.
That's documented.
Right.
Yeah, but they were trying to fight over, I believe it was the Black Mamba name.
The products that was put into it, he wanted to be associated.
Right. So here's another thing, though, what a lot of people don't know. He was in talks with Saudi Arabia.
Do his own NBA team.
To do his own NBA team.
Yeah, Kobe was pretty much anti-NBA post career, broadcast and so on and so forth. But it seemed like Kobe was just like done.
Imagine how dangerous that would have been. I mean, like threatening to the NBA that would have been. If you think about it, like Kobe starting, that's like Jordan starting his own league. Like, it's over. It's literally over. That's literally one of the greatest players ever. Like, it's game over.
And everybody's gonna follow him, right?
For
so
sure.
he probably would have gave better deals. He probably would have gave more exposure, more control of your IP. So again, if that happened, what does that mean for the NBA? So it's really odd on how all that went down, only because how low they were flying. Okay.
So you saying the crash shouldn't have happened? It shouldn't have
It
happened.
definitely shouldn't have happened. I was on the scene actually when that happened. I was on the news. I was one of the first people there when Kobe, when it
Think
happened.
people could have survived, so you think something got blew up or something like that?
They should.
It was intentional.
Yeah, it was something to the intentional. I don't know.
My belief, allegedly, I'll say that.
Hey, with Kobe, love you, man. Rest in peace. It's just one of those weird conspiracies, especially when the programming is already there and you've seen all of that. It's like,
Yeah.
was this written? I mean, I do say this. I say we're alive by politics.
I mean, why is it that right before he died, on his last game, they gave out Kobe helicopter toys?
It wasn't the one that looked like LeBron? The one kind of like looked like LeBron, though?
It looked like Kobe with a helicopter propeller attached to him.
They gave it on one of his last games.
They gave it to everybody at the game.
So what was the point of that?
Exactly.
There's only 4 phenotypes: Dravidian, Caucasoid, Mongoloid, which is Asians and Koreans and all of them. And then there's which is me and African. And so here's the issue that I'm having. Scientifically, according to the Australian Research Center for Ancient DNA, we can prove that white people, Caucasoid people, because even if you don't identify as white, the term is not a description. You can't be a y'all all fall genetically in the category of Caucasoid. And Caucasoids, according to not only history, but biblical history as well, descend from the Caucasus Mountain. How, with the Middle East being an extension of Africa, are Caucasoids claiming that they are native to a land that not only they were never there, they were there and inhabited it after us?
Because they seek to control us, right? Mind you, if we think that we are the only species that is just us, right? And that we are a floating globe in the middle of the space, right? And that we can't easily access other planets because they're light years away, then we will not seek to find answers outside of Earth. Everything that we will do has to be about Earth, right? But if it's true that Earth is flat, right? And that this is just a plane, right? A plane of existence, right? What do we know about planes in geography, right? Planes are flat, right? If this is just a flat plane realm, right? And that we exist in water and that the only thing separating us and the rest of these realms are water, everyone would want to leave. Every single person would want to leave. Every single person would want to go explore the rest of this map. If it's true, right? That nothing is millions of light years away and the only thing separating us from the rest of these lands is water, everyone on this goddamn plane is going to have a goddamn panic attack. Everyone is just going to start melting the ice walls with a fucking blowtorch if they have to. If you think that there's no easy way out of Earth, you're never going to attempt to leave, right? You're just going to deal with society, deal with laws, deal with paying rent, deal with the energy siphoning that is always going on. But if it's true that the only thing separating us from the rest of the galaxy is water, oh my God. Earth will literally erupt into freaking chaos. They won't be able to control nothing. There will be nothing that they control.